One minute I'm here making my own business and escaping a world of pain because they were running a bus. Just basically all this bus started poisoning everybody, this police bus. And the whole time, all overseas and here, they were just campaigning. Like all the bus drivers said, they were just saying, I am very ugly. Nobody will ever love me again. Go fuck yourself. You're so disgusting looking. You dress bad. All this stuff. And it was actually, this was a regime and it was campaigning for Poppy to be the most loved all over Christchurch. And it was run by Trump. He was running this bus. And so I've got two massive families attacking my whole life. So I went overseas and so they have erased my whole family. They just threw my mum into this flowers factory and have destroyed my vagina all over again. Like, it's just really horrible because it sounds like I already remember the first time my face got disfigured. I was seeing that they were like sending these gangs anonymous, like that I've got a purple pussy. And I just, I couldn't prove anything. So I've kept it all inside. But now, thinking about all the videos that I took when I got to Christchurch, all these people coming up saying there was all this hate on a bus. They're calling me a dog. They're calling me ugly. They said there was 40 workers on this bus working every day, putting it on Facebook that I was an ugly mutt. So that must be like a MAGA thing. And because I said, I'm going to go overseas. And he said, why would you bother? Because she's gone all over the world with this, trying to say that she's very beautiful and you're really fucking ugly. And yeah, just all this stuff about nobody's ever gonna like me ever again. I'm such a fucking dog and I'm like really aggressive. Nobody will ever like me. And apparently there was 40 of my friends working on this bus. And like Trump was going around like saying nobody will love me and all this. And they'd hijacked a biography that I'd started, and then it's kind of like they've rewritten everything about my life story because the guy took all the information about my life, this lawyer, and just gave it to the Trumps. And so they wrote this biography and rewrote me out of my whole life, everything about my life. And so I went to Sweden in the end because the hate got too bad. And while I was in Sweden, that bus was still going on over there. And they just threw me into some court case, and they were all laughing at me. And then in the refugee camp, nobody would sit next to me, and they just started saying, you're so fucking disgusting. All these people were just sitting there, and if I sat anywhere, they'd move all their food trays and go sit somewhere else. So, that was that pipeline they were building all over the world, like throwing me underground in a wastewater pipeline, and they'd put like the toilet factory under there, and they'd put some Nova Festival. Because I started to catch a train out to the hospital, and some guy came and talked to me, and he said something about this festival and me being a clown. And I just said, what? And then he just said, if you want to meet up, I'll give you my number. So I took his number down, and then he just said, yeah, they're just saying you're a clown all over the city. And I didn't click I didn't understand what he was meaning, but now I do. That must be still this bus going around everywhere. That was in Sweden. So while I was sitting there, the guy said that they were money laundering on this bus. And so anyway, I ended up back in Australia because they sent me back to New Zealand, and I was sitting, and they were just, all the cafes were pushing me out that I was a doll bludger, getting really angry at me. Like I couldn't It's like I'm not welcome anywhere, but they don't fix my rights, my civil rights to have a social worker to get back into work because the governments are shutting down my rights to my own phone. And so these guys like the Trumps are like running my telephones, like, and duplicating SIMs, running this whole criminal thing going on, and I can't do anything about it. I'm helpless, like, and I'm innocent. Like, it's just I'm being persecuted about being ugly, and then there's actual things in the culture. God don't like ugly, and then it's like all the and then like this popcorn guy taking photos of me. You're a fucking dog. You're fucking ugly. This girl's the real divine feminine, and it's like real persecution over my customs and beliefs. And so I went to my mum, and they hijacked every business thing that I was working on over there, and then just started advertising like Poppy and advertising Kiki and India, and I got drowned on that plane in a toilet bucket of shit again, and then kidnapped, and said they're kidnapping me because they want to save my life because they were advertising me, and I want to know if it's to do with 3Bs and John, because that's what I saw when I was walking and selling I started a business and I was selling all these rings. I want to know if Charlotte, Poppy and Kiki were online with John and I was being tortured as the ugly one or something like this, because these girls are going all over the world with this regime that I'm fucking ugly, and they were persecuting me, and I've gone through all this persecution. It's 7 years now, and every time I get evidence, they just wipe all my phones or they trespass me so that they don't have to take accountability. And so then they pushed me out of Australia with a court case, like some lustful court case, and I got put back to Christchurch. And then every support person that I tried to ask for help, they wouldn't help me. And then I just saw an article that Cheese had banned me for life, and I was like, why am I being like not helped and I'm being treated like this? And they had a funeral, and Narita said the kids don't like me because they're saying I'm a fucking weirdo. And I said, I don't even talk to anyone and nobody's helped me. And she just said, oh, like, go get a coordinator. And I got a coordinator. Nobody helped me. Nobody followed through. This is almost 4 years, and I'm still treated like everything's my fault. And then the guys running this bus were cracking up laughing, saying, good luck, nobody feels sorry for you because you're old and you look ugly now, so nobody's ever going to have compassion for you. So this guy's just come after me, relentlessly attacking my face like I'm very ugly, and I'm just at this stage, like, the way that they've trapped me all these years, like, and also gone through all these robberies and are denying me civil rights and are denying me the right to live in any country without persecution, is a crime. You can't keep doing this and covering up for the abusers. So somebody kidnapped me from my mum, and there was a persecution over there with those 3 girls in a web of lies online. And I got brought back here, and then I got told that Poppy was relentlessly targeting me in my bedroom up in St. John's. So I'm living in St. John's, and they just said there was a massive hate crime that went on because of a passion of love. And while I was in that room, they were taking photos of me daily. I think John was taking photos that I've got a really old, ugly face. And I was in there really terrified because I'm really sick and I'd been beaten. And I was like trying to say on Facebook, this isn't fucking fair. I was reaching out to all these people and it got hacked. And then next thing I know, I was beaten and they removed me and put me somewhere else, and they just keep chaining me in this unfair situation with Poppy. And I'm just saying, it's not fair. I have to spend my life in pain and misery because they've kidnapped me and done this massive regime where they've covered it up, and I'm asking for the torture to be uncovered. Because apparently while I was here in my tent, Poppy had started another thing as well, and all those Swifties were saying they'd witnessed that she'd put me in a bucket of shit or something. But it's hard for me because I can't ask anyone for help now. Like, they're making the whole public like hate me. Like they're constantly poisoning the culture, so I can't ask anyone what they've seen. And the council, I think, was run by, is it Japan or China? They started throwing me in the toilet and fencing me out, and they've destroyed me, like denying me the right to any heartfelt connections. And I'm just saying, there's no diversity. Even if you are ugly and you'd been bashed, why were they exploiting me all these years after violence with no mercy? I don't think that somebody that's done all these years of compassionate service should be this persecuted about the way they look. Like, it's discrimination and it's prejudice. And this is all because of some LA insurance of John or something. And it's so, well, where am I meant to live? I can't live under all this persecution and no one's accountable all these years. I'm the blame for absolutely everything, and I'm the one losing everything. I don't want to live without other people. I don't want to have a future like this. I didn't want to live without a business or without my rights to work, because that's exactly what I've done. And it's got something to do with Auckland. All these girls were on that bus making out I was arrogant and egotistical and a narcissist. And it's like, well, if I'm a narcissist, I wouldn't go to a counsellor. If I'm a narcissist, I wouldn't volunteer and help all these people that wanted their pets to have pet sitting. And I did it for free because I like animals. I don't, and I was going to be home all weekend anyway, so I used to look after people's pets. But I've put time into helping some people out, like counselling them, like my friends. I've counselled a lot of friends about their family issues and all sorts of stuff. Like, it's not very fair to leave me rotting in hell and being condemned when actually the criminals are walking free. And that Australian, patenting love by destroying my name and destroying my life and destroying anybody having any emotional connection to me is really unfair situation.